Hi everyone, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel Merchant Navy Decoded. Today I've got a very special guest, Uttam sir out here. First of all, welcome sir.
Hello, Praneeth. How are you?
Sir, I am doing great. For all those who do not know, all I want to say is today Uttam sir is working in a very unique field of maritime industry, which we all need to know about. So let us know about his journey. So sir, first of all, welcome again to my YouTube channel.
Thank you, Praneeth. I'm very happy to be here.
So sir, let's just start from the very beginning. You passed out from MERI Kolkata in the year 2004, right sir?
That's correct.
And you got placed in fleet management.
Yes. I did graduate in 2004, and then I joined fleet management through campus placement. Then I sailed in around 4 to 5 years. I did one sailing with fleet management as a junior engineer. Then I moved to United Ocean, and then finally with your current company, Anglo Eastern, where I
Okay.
did my two ships as a third engineer.
Wow. So sir,
That's how I did.
how was your sailing experience and what did you learn during your sailing days, which you really cherish?
So, like anyone, right? If you ask any marine professional, how did he join the shipping, right? No one would say that it came, it was his dream job, right?
Very
It
true.
will, it came as either, he never, it came as a opportunity and people just took it, right? So I was no different. So I joined that. And then I would say when I went there first time, of course, like any first timer cadet or a junior engineer, right? Your expectations are pretty high, but when you hit the reality, it's very different, right? So that was the same case for me. But I would say after few months of time, I really enjoyed my shipping career. Okay, so first few months was very difficult in terms of hardship that we normally face, but it was, I would say, more about matching the expectations with reality rather than anything else. And after that, I really enjoyed during my sailing time till the last day of my shipping, even if I knew that I had to leave, but I was really enjoying it. If you ask me about the learning experience, it was, I think, there was a saying in shipping, right? The shipping makes you a man out of boys, right? So you definitely learn something very unique. You grow as a person and professional as well, where you learn hardship. You ended up working with different nationality, different people, and you roam around the world. So it is definitely a great field to have. So if you ask me what are the things I learned, definitely adaptability is one big thing, right? Where you learn different how to adapt to different situations, whether you are facing a storm or facing a compliance issue, anything, you learn how to cope up with that. That's one. Then you also get a lot of leadership experience, right, during your time, whether it's during crisis or during your work scenario, right? So I would say it has been a very enriching experience in my view
So
during my
sir,
time.
then what was the reason that you quit sailing? What was the primary reason?
So if you ask me what was my primary reason, it was not that okay, I was not liking the shipping, right? But it was, I always had that feeling that I wanted to do something else and I can do something else, right? I was not having that answer till last 5 years, but I always felt that okay, I need to do something else because even if I like to do, so that was definitely propelling me to come out of the shipping. So that's what I would say. I left sailing.
Sir, maybe if I could put it in different way, maybe you wanted some other challenges to come up. When you had done a few years, when you had spent a few years in sailing, you could know ki what a chief engineer's job is. You had seen कि भाई एक second year क्या करता है, what a chief engineer does. So you thought कि maybe something different. You wanted to do something more challenging, or you want to take up some other challenges. Was it something?
So yeah, you are right. Means of course there is, means one thing is very natural to me is that I like new challenges. So of course the life was challenging there. You are into more into technical, but I was thinking that okay, can I move to some business side of the things? Can I know more about new industry, new profession, new learning, etc. So that was definitely, that craving was there when I was there in the shipping, even if I used to like. So that propelled me to go for a higher study.
So
Okay. So that's
then,
what.
so then you went for MBA, GMAT, right, sir?
That's correct. I went for MBA. If you don't ask me why MBA, but
But if you can tell, I
I
would
was
really
asked in the
appreciate that. Why MBA? Let's put it this way.
So I would say two reasons, honestly speaking. Uh, One reason is that that was a very I would think a hot field during that time, right? Many of the people were going, and I thought that okay, that's a field where you can get prosper and you can grow faster. That was one. But I would say my honest answer is I was looking for a field which can give me an one avenue to grow in a general way, right? Because when we went to the shipping, we were so in a niche space, right? Okay, once you are in means you become a marine engineer, but MBA was one field which where you can go from one field to another. It was at least giving you opportunity to grow as a financial consultant or a management consultant or a supply chain manager or anything, right? So that was one reason I wanted to get into a general field where I could explore what I like, what I want to be, and then move to the area there where I wanted to go. So that's why MBA was one choice that I made during that time.
Very well said, sir, and I really liked your answer as well. And sir,
Mhm.
why? So you did your MBA from which college, if you can tell, and which place?
So I did my MBA from North Carolina State University. It's based out of North Carolina. It's a very beautiful city, Raleigh. So I did from there in 2009, and luckily I got 100% scholarship there. So this made it very easy for me to go and sponsor get the sponsorship and study there.
So, sir, MBA in US is like 2 years MBA. Am I right, sir? So,
That's
rather
correct.
if you could have done from GMAT in India, it would have been just 1 year. So, there was any
Yeah.
particular
So
reason to choose US?
so I would say means I also prepared for CAT during my early years. Okay, so but I did make it. I didn't make it to CAT. I didn't perform well, but I did get selected for interview in IIFT, and I could not make it in the final round. So then I decided that it's better not to spend too much time, get more experience, and then go for a higher study. So I did think about whether I should go for the US or India because the when I come from the where I come from now, very humble background in Bihar. I would say that it was a kind of a distant dream going to US and studying there. So, but I there were a couple of friends who helped me and to gain that confidence that I can do it. So that's why based on their convincing power or that time decision I made, okay, I will wait for a few years rather than I go and take a bigger leap and go to US. That's how I would say.
I'm going little bit off course, but this
Mhm.
question has to come. From where do you come in Bihar? Matlab, from which region do you come in Bihar, sir?
I come from Gaya.
Gaya.
It's Gaya. So I did stay in Gaya till my class 10th, and then I did 2 years in Bokaro, where I studied in Chinmaya Vidyalaya, and then I prepared for IT and uh, came to Marine
Okay,
School
okay. So when was the last time you visited Gaya, sir? How many years has it been?
in 2009.
2009. It's been, sir. You अभी जाने का time आ रहा है, sir. You have to go visit again.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, my family also moved from Gaya, so right now they are living in Delhi, so that's why I do
Okay,
not get a
okay.
chance to go
अब
to Gaya.
मुश्किल है. I understand that, sir. So, sir, 2009 to 2011, you were studying in US MBA. How was the job thing over there during that time? Because as far as I know, that was 2011 was a recession period out there. So, what about your
That's
job?
correct. Totally. Totally. So that was one reason I selected a school where I was, not having a lot of financial burden because the job situation was not that good. So I thought that, okay, even if I'm not getting a good job, I can come back to selling. So that was definitely one thought. But you are right. In 2009 to 11, it was peak of the recession period. There were not enough jobs in the market. So whether no matter where you study, what you study, there were very difficult situation, and especially for foreign students. because not many companies were ready to sponsor you on a work visa at that time. So getting a job there was very difficult. At the same time, it was very, very challenging.
So, what was your first job, and what were the
So
challenges you
luckily,
faced during that first job?
so in during that time, I was lucky to get a job before I graduated. Okay,
Acha,
but
during
I
the
was
decision period also you got a job. You
I
managed to
got
get
the
a job.
job. Yeah, but luckily I got it. But it was not a. I was not say that it was a dream job, but it was a kind of, I was on a survival mode. I have to take it, right? Because I was only the second student in my batch to get placed before the graduation. So so no one was having. I was afraid that, okay, if I miss it, I will. I don't know when I will get the job, right? So that time, it was definitely a period where people were just taking the first job that they were getting. So that was the situation during that time. But my job started as a supply chain systems analyst, where, because my focus during the MBA was in supply chain, where I learned a lot of new subjects in supply chain. I also got my supply chain professional certification during that time. I was very keen to make a career in supply chain. So I worked for 2 years as a supply chain analyst, but I diverted from supply chain to project management and to digital transformation, etc. So obviously, what I planned, it did not happen. But I'm very happy to be where I am at today.
So good thing about you is that you love new challenges, and that is one thing that propels you to do better each and every time. So, sir, again coming back to 2011, you want to say
No,
something?
so I want to say something. No, so you mentioned it 2 times, so I want to have to say I love new challenges, right? And why I love it, I will tell you a story, Praneeth. It's not to tell, beating drums about what I did, but I'll tell you one of the biggest compliment that when I was on the ship. When I was a third engineer on the ship, and my chief engineer was signing off, and a new chief engineer came. So during the handover, my outgoing chief engineer called me in his room, in his office, and with the joining chief engineer. The compliment that the outgoing chief engineer told, that as long as he is on the ship, you should not have a problem.
You were a
And
third
that was
engineer, and you
as
were
a
a
third
third.
engineer. I was a third engineer, and I told him why, because he knows in and everything within the ship. So what is happening in the engine room, he's totally aware. So, and he also gave me a compliment. You always go out of your job to work on different areas. So if I'm a third engineer, I was responsible for generator, right? But if I see there was a problem in purifier, I used to go and support fourth engineer. If there is a problem or it's something happening on main engine, I was helping second engineer, even if it's holding a lamp, right? But I was curious and I was helping it. So that's why that curiosity still persists in me. So I never looked at my job with the job description that was given to me. I always tried to explore. So that's how I took this lesson from shipping, and I still continue to do it. That's how I moved from supply chain to project to product, and to digital transformation. So luckily, I have that zeal is still in me, and I want to continue
And
that.
and I've observed it very well. I know that very well. Sir, hats off.
Yeah.
I really loved the story, sir. Thanks for sharing that in this video format over here. So, sir, coming
Mhm.
back again to 2011, that recession period, challenges coming up. So, what
Mhm.
were sir, you were a marine engineer, and suddenly you came into becoming a supply chain analyst. So, what were those challenges that you are facing now?
Now or during that time?
Yeah, during that time, yes, definitely. During that time, when you were a supply chain analyst, just recently moved from the life of a marine engineer to the PPT presentation or something like that. I really do not know.
Oh, it was really, really difficult, I would say, right? As a marine engineer, if you ask, right, what was the tool that you learned, right? It was your biggest tool is your hand. We were hands-on engineer. We didn't know how to make a PowerPoint. So that was the one of the biggest struggle that we faced, right? How to make a PowerPoint, how to bring your ideas together, right? Because if I have to ask you one question, Praneeth, have been a chief engineer, right? Um, if you ask a question, okay, tell me why this incident happened, right? in an engine room. You will say, oh, this broke, this is why this happened, and that's as a result of this fails, right? But if you ask a professional, a business professional, he will start from top to bottom. He will say this equipment failed because of this reason. But as an engineer, you are tuned to talk about root cause, the problems, and then come up with a solution, right? So the whole thinking is very different when you come on the other side of the table at the business
100%.
side. So it took me some time how to bring my thought in that manner and present it to the people, right? And I still continue to learn this way, because when I go and talk to customers or senior management, right, I have to filter my thoughts in a manner so that I get their attention. Otherwise, we'll lose it, right? So that was one thing that I learned over the period of time during school, and I continue to learn today. The other skill sets was definitely communication, I would say. We were working in a very shell environment in the shell. Now I was in a room with so many diverse nationalities, so many outspoken people, and etc. Speaking in the class, speaking before people was one challenge that I have to overcome over a period of time. So that, say, it was another challenge. But gradually, I was mainly focusing on what transferable skills we could bring from maritime industry to the any industry that I was going to pursue. Mainly focus on adaptability, risk-taking ability, and the attitude. So these three things just helped me move ahead.
Okay. Sir, when you left sailing, you were earning a handsome amount. When you joined MBA, everybody thinks ki that I am going to get this package and this package and this package. But suddenly it was a mode of survival for you. The package
Mhm.
that you might have expected, you would not have got. So was matching that reality with expectations a challenge during this phase as well?
So I would say this problem was not so high when because I did my schooling in US. I got a job, right? I was still making money in dollars, but of course the taxation part, the living expenses is definitely very high in US, right? And definitely I was not at par with the B school salary scale at that time, but I took it as a challenge. I say that okay, it doesn't matter wherever I start, there is an opportunity, and I will grow. So that attitude helped me to keep going and
Sir,
then
I
work
strongly
my way
believe,
up.
sir, I strongly believe it is the attitude that matters. Some people get
Mhm.
it early, some people get it late, but the
Mhm.
better
Mhm.
it can never be never if you have the right attitude. It will definitely it is definitely going to come to you. So, sir,
Correct.
those 6 years in US and you
Mhm.
rose the heights in that same job where you had joined, you worked there for 6 years in D analyst group. What were the challenges that you faced while working in US? So, what did you see the transformation from working in India, or I would say as a marine engineer ship, and then working in US over there?
Mhm. So I would say a few good things about working in US, right? US is one of the most developed country for a reason. People from all over the world come there to work. So one good thing about my company where I was it was a small consulting plus technology company of 40 people, but there were already 11 nationalities there. Okay, from Africa to Korea to Europe to American, right? So it was working with so many different nationality was definitely challenging, but at the same time, it was a great learning experience professionally as well as personally. Professionally, because the best people from the different parts of the world were there, right? So they bring that intelligence in there, so you have to stand shoulder to shoulder to them, right? That was one. Personally, in that way, because their working style, the culture is very different, right? You have to be very cautious what you speak, how you speak, and at the same time open to their ideas. So it was challenging in both personal and professional terms. The other challenges I faced was as I said, no, my company was a consulting and technology company. They were working in a very niche technology and niche space where I needed to learn. It was a very, as a marine engineer, you could imagine, right? We are so I would say, uh, technology challenged, right? Initially at that time. So I was the same. but working on the new technology was very, very fearsome for me. But I took that and I learned, worked on the job. So that was another one. The third one I would say is basically working with people of different profession, right? So it was a technology company where I had to work with data scientists, I had to work with software professionals, where I have to work with business professionals, and talking their language was very, very different for me. It was a great learning experience because how to talk to them, whether am I sounding intelligent, am I sounding foolish, I don't know. So uh, aligning myself with their thought process and communicating them was also very challenging at beginning, but gradually, as I learned, I worked through this, I overcame this.
I have heard that in US there is a hire and fire system. Is there actually a uncertainty of job over there, or no?
So hire and fire system, it's definitely not as what you see. It's a human thing, right? Of course, there are business element and the human element. No one wants to do that. But since in US, the difference between India and the US is that in India, the labor is cheaper, but US it is the most very costly, right? So if you have to do cost cutting, the first thing that you can see that, okay, let's cut the numbers of employees, right? So that's how it happens, because they have to run a business, and it's there is a saying, no, it doesn't matter, ship continues needs to sell, right? Whether people are there or not, right? So same thing with any company. So that's how I say. But I won't say there is a hire and fire type of culture. That word I do not agree to it, but definitely that value. That's how it is there. What was your other question?
Sir, my next question.
No, you
Next,
asked about the hire and fire, and then what something
but
else.
I have not asked the other question. I'm just going to ask you, sir. Sir, we maximum people quit sailing to stay with parents and to stay with family. You had your wife along, but how difficult was it to stay so far from your parents in US? So, how frequently could you visit them, and was it a challenge?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. Staying away from the family for so long, and especially in US, right, where the rules are a little very difficult. Many times, it's not so friendly in terms of visa. Sometimes you have a visa to go back home, your wife does not have. So she has a visa and stamp done. I don't have. So from the paper wise, it is definitely difficult at times. Second, the distance wise and the cost of travel, it's not so cheap to come to India so often. Like I'm in Singapore, I can fly, take this 5 hours flight and go back. So it was not like that. It takes 18 hours or 12 hours to go. So these three reasons, no, it really hurts being away so far from the family. But at the same time, it also gives you opportunity to grow, right? Um, so if you are happy and you think that there is a future, you stay there. But at the same time, if I ask my thing, my situation was little. I'm okay because being the youngest son, and I have my sisters and brothers who were with my parents, so it makes it little easy for me. But
Much
of course, there
easier,
is
sir, I would
emotional
say.
part.
Being the only son, my responsibilities are much different. That
Correct,
way, yes,
correct,
we are blessed. Okay, sir.
correct.
So 2017 came a life-changing experience, a life-changing opportunity in your life, and that was Alphauri. Like it was like Merchant Navy calling you back again. So we would love to know about this. How did you join Alphauri, and what is Alphauri all about?
So Alpha Ori is a maritime technology company, and it is a leading, I would say, one of the key differentiator of that company. You have a very right balance of maritime professionals at the same time technology professionals. So if you bring this together, there are a lot of opportunity to solve maritime problems. So that's how it all started. And I was a marine engineer, it was not different, not so different from me as well, right? So how I joined during that time, Alpha Ori was kind of a very, very startup. Even it was not set up in US that time. So, but there were a few people I came to know, and they are also, some of them are our seniors from our college, but they were settled in US for a year. So I got to know them, and then I reached out to them, and then I met them over a weekend, and I found that there is something that I can contribute. At the same time, they found that okay, this guy can bring some value. So that's how it all started. And then I joined Alphaori, so that okay, there is an opportunity for me to come back to shipping full time and do something good about it, right? So that's how I felt that I should join this company and take this industry forward and contribute in a small way whatever I could.
For all those people who do not know, Alpha Ori is a company like today. If you are on a sea, if you are on a ship, so a lot of data is being sent shore, so that people on shore can analyze how the ship is performing. Can some machinery problems be get mitigated? Because if engineers working on board, they might they might just might not be able to see this problem coming. But through this technology, the people sitting ashore over here, they can come, okay, this problem can come, and they can warn the people. Or in simple terms, I can say maybe this technology will reduce the manpower on board ship as well. I do not know whether it will happen or not, but I, as a sailor, I'm thinking that way, sir. But
okay,
there is a mix. Today emission is a problem, so how to minimize those emissions? Routing is an issue. Getting the right data to solve problems on board ship with the help of technology and people sitting ashore over here. So that is how. Am I right, sir? If I'm interpreting it, or if you can rephrase it, I would really appreciate it.
yeah. So I would say, put it in easy, I would say this the technology is not to replace people, but to empower people, whether it's the people on board the ship or on the shore. So that's how we see it. Okay. Of course, the nature of job and responsibility will differ over a period of time, but it is there to help you, right? Whether at home we talk about, having this mobile technology, right? Everything has a pros and cons. How do you take it, right? Things will keep coming at home also, but you have to take it positively. But the role will differ. You may have to upskill yourself or learn new things in order to do the same job, right? You are already a chief engineer wearing 4 stripes, but I am assuming that you will you will need to learn a new thing, right? So that's how I see it. So if I have to talk about Alphaori, right? Alphaori is a maritime technology company. It has 3-4 product line, where one of the product is smart ship, which is very much capable of bringing the data from ship to the shore, right? And the idea is not only bringing the data to the shore, but how we can solve certain problem using data analytics, artificial intelligence, or big data analytics to solve certain maritime problem, right? And you mentioned about emission. So reducing emission is one opportunity. Preventing machinery breakdown is another problem. Improving safety of the ship or ship staff is another problem that we can solve. Reducing the non-compliance event is another problem that we can solve using technology, right? So these are some of the areas where technology can help the ship staff to make an informed decision, right? So, I have this system which can help you make a better decision, improve the safety of yourself at the same time with the ship and the crew, right? So that's how I put it forward.
Sir, I really like the way you said that technology is not here to reduce the manpower but to empower them. And sir, I honestly speaking, even I believe that there is only one thing constant, that is change. Today in Dehradun, Vikrams are getting obsolete and new CNG rickshaws are coming and things are changing. The only thing it is, and we should not be afraid of these changes. Rather, we should empower them, embrace them, and we should upskill ourselves so that we are always in demand. This is what I would tell every seafarer out there. Become a part of making these PPT presentations, become a part of learning these IoT platforms. Surprisingly, son, even DD Shipping has made sure that these IoT platforms or people should learn about this should come in the curriculum. Though it is not compulsory, but it has been made a part. So out here, I promise everyone that there will be different another video coming where Uttam sir and I will be discussing on the advancements in maritime technology and will ever autonomous ships will be coming. That will be a different video altogether. But now coming back, sir. So 2018, you shifted to Singapore, if I'm right with the stats. Am I right, sir?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, sir, from 6-7 years in US, then in Singapore, what was different in Singapore?
So it's all about perspective, right? Whether you are here and why, whether which city is better than others, right? So for me, the personal reason to come to Singapore was, coming closer to the family. I'm still very close to my family, and I want to be with them in their good or bad. So that was one reason. But professionally also, it was making sense for me because Singapore being a maritime hub, I wanted to be closer to the customer to understand their pain points and try to, develop a product that will help them. So, meeting people, meeting customers. So that was another reason. And I really like it here. Keeping two things separate, or whether this is better or Singapore is better, I would say some good things that I really enjoy it here, right? So one is that I already have a very strong friend circle, right, from our DMET days. So that makes it very easy for me, where I can meet them over the weekend and do that. The second thing is that, of course, being closer to home, you can fly down and fly and come back and forth very easy. But of course, COVID did hinder in the last 2 years, where I could not go, and it was tough period for everyone, or meet my family. But at the same time, I would say Singapore is a city that promotes active lifestyle, right? Whether you have to take an MRT or public transport or anywhere, it makes you keep you very healthy, active. And at the same time, I have developed the active lifestyle here, beyond that, going to the public transportation. So that makes it very unique, makes me very happy about it. So I would say, if you give me these two reasons, I think I really love being in Singapore.
Okay, great.
At this point of time.
Okay, great.
I don't know what will happen for 4 years or 5 years, but at this point of time, I'm pretty happy to be here.
So, sir, 2022 mid, you quit Alpha Ori and you became a maritime consultant. And what is your role today? And what is the new challenge that you have taken up?
So in Alpha Ori, I got into a position where I was leading the smart ship product development, or one of the product line. So I took it from one level to another, right? Because I was there since the beginning. So it was basically, I was part of the team who developed the idea from paper and took it to a product where it is installed on hundreds of ships, right? So I hit there, but I thought that, okay, I was pretty comfortable. I did whatever I could. It was not taking me to another level of challenges. As I said, that I love new challenges. So I thought that there is something else I could do. Yeah, is there any other problem that I could solve? So one thing that I also felt, that I was part of the technology company, but at the same time, what I have felt, that the adoption within the shipping fraternity about this technology is not that high. So I said that, what are the things that why it is not happening, right? So I undertook a course in INSEAD, and I learned about digital transformation. I say, why this is so difficult? There I learned that people is one of the key aspects of bringing that change. If you are keeping people out of the technology, or the problem, the technology alone cannot solve the problem, right? So that's how that question was definitely on my mind. I thought that, okay, there is something that I could do something about it. So I said that, okay, there is a consulting company I can work with, and can I take my technology knowledge at the same time, the way I understand, and I can also put myself in the user's shoes, being a marine engineer, right? So can I bring this together? So right now I'm working as a consultant, where I'm helping some of the one of the leading companies to digitally transform, where I'm working with the people to improve the adoption of the technology, upskilling the employees, creating the organization where I can make the transition easy from adoption of technology to the helping the team. So that's how I transitioned from this to this. But at the same time, my love for technology is still there. I'm also helping work on different problems, and by developing a product who can solve certain problems. So I'm also working on a few other development projects as well.
So that is an amazing journey till now, sir, and I wish you best of luck for your future endeavors. May God bless you, and with a promise that very soon you are going to come up with a video where we can talk about autonomous ships and where the future is leading. With this promise, sir, will I thank you on behalf of Merchant Navy Decode and the whole family. Thanks a lot for joining us and sharing your life journey, sir. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much for having me, Praneeth. I'm very happy to share. I hope this video will add value to your listeners, and if they are if they want to reach out to me through you, I'm very happy to talk to them and be reached out. So thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you very much, sir. Blessed to have you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.